Deep Zone Crypt is the featured weekly raid, and this is great news for everyone in the community, because the weapons from Deep Zone Crypt are some of the best weapons in the entire game, with 2 weapons being the best in their slot in my personal opinion. These 2 weapons being the Commemoration and also the Bequest. The Commemoration, in my opinion, is by far one of the best LMGs in the entire game, if not the best LMG in the game. With the perfect god roll of Reconstruction and Killing Tally. With Reconstruction and some magazine perks, you can hold over 140 bullets in one magazine, and while you're shooting, it's going to reload for you. Now with Killing Tally, after just killing 3 enemies, you're going to get a flat 30% damage boost. This is an amazing LMG. And of course, Bequest being the highest damage sword in the game because it can roll as surrounded, making it one of the best swords to use for damaging bosses. So it's pretty safe to say you are going to want to get these weapons in your inventory and crafted before this week ends. And lucky for you, both of these weapons come from Taniks, the final boss. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how you can farm this raid easy and efficient and get these weapons crafted within a few hours. So let's break this final boss encounter down. This boss is extremely easy and it doesn't even require any communication between guardians. All you have to do is just have some common sense and know what to do, so let me explain. So once you've spawned into the Taniks boss fight room, the first thing that you need to know is that there are 3 distinct areas in this boss room. As you can see on the screen here, this first one is called the white room. The second one is the blue room, and then obviously the third one is the orange room. I just call them rooms, you can call them whatever you like, but you can tell by the distinct light. One of them is orange, one of them is blue, and then one of them doesn't have a light, so we just call it white. And of course, Taniks obviously spawns right in the middle of the room under all of this scrap metal. Now at all 3 of these locations, there are 2 specific things that you need to know. One of them is that there will be 2 dunk pods that you can see on the screen right now. I'm shooting them and it says offline. This is basically where you will dunk a ball, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Now the other one is these 3 floating orbs. This is the Suppressor's role, which I'll also get into later. But for now, as long as you know that these 2 things are at each location, you can do any role that is needed when you join a group. The easiest and most simple way to do this is to do the 4-ball dunk method. Pretty much every group does this, it's very simple, and it's the only way you should be doing it. Doing it this way will also complete the challenge, meaning you get double loot at the end of the encounter, which is always great. Just like every other encounter in the Deep Zone Crypt, during this boss fight, 3 roles will spawn in. You have the scanner, you have the operator, and you also have the suppressor. However, with the method that we are doing, you can completely ignore the scanner's role. So the first thing you need to do is assign 1 person to the operator, 1 person to the suppressor, and then the other 4 people are going to do the ball running. So let's start off with the orb running. This is probably going to be your job if you join a random group that already has players, so let's cover this job first. This one is extremely easy and there is no stress needed. So once you've started the boss encounter, a few seconds later, Taniks will eventually go to one of the 3 rooms, whether this be light, blue, or the orange room. Once he arrives here, he will do a little slam animation and all 4 of his thrusters will start glowing. You need to shoot these with something high damaging like a fusion rifle and eventually a orb will fall out. You'll notice that he has 4 thrusters, so you want to break all 4 of these and get 4 orbs to drop. Now the 4 designated orb runners are going to pick up the orb and run to the opposite rooms that Taniks isn't in. There's a 1 in 3 chance that Taniks can go to any of the rooms, so just coordinate with your team and tell them which room you will be running to. So as an example, Taniks here on my screen went to the light room, so I picked up an orb and went to the orange room and went over to the far right side and dunked my orb. The 3 other players would have done the same thing, but they would have went to the other 3 dunking orbs that I showed you at the very start of the video. This role is extremely easy, that's all you have to do. Now let's move over into the operator's role. So if you're the operator, this job is also very simple. As you can see here, you want to start the boss fight in the light area where I am right now, and eventually after you kill some ads, a vandal will spawn in with the operator. You want to kill him and pick up the operator. From here, your job is to free any of the orb chasers if they get trapped in a purple ball. So once the boss phase has started and your 4 runners have got the ball, you want to perch yourself up high on an obstacle where you can shoot down on your teammates if they get trapped in a purple orb. This job is extremely easy, just like you can see on the screen right now. And finally, the 3rd role is the suppressor's role. Now, you can pick up the suppressor from the orange room. You want to start there with another person and kill all the enemies until a vandal spawns with the suppressor role. Once you've picked up the suppressor role, your job is to now suppress the boss. So like I said earlier in the video, at all 3 of the locations, there are 3 floating orbs. So once Taniks decides which room he's going to go over to before you shoot the 4 orbs down, you need to get over there as well and stand yourself in middle of one of these 3 orbs. Your role is to go between all 3 of the floating orbs and shoot the boss once while in each orb. As you can see, the orbs glow, and then once you stand in it, Taniks then glows. It's super simple. Just stand in each one, shoot the boss once, go to the next orb, shoot the boss, go to the 3rd orb, and then shoot the boss. Super simple. This allows the players that are running the orbs to actually dunk them. If you do not do this role, the orb dunking will say offline and they will all wipe. So once you've dunked all the 4 orbs properly, Taniks will then teleport back to the middle of the room. You want to group here as a group and jump over the flying obstacles and land in the middle of all the shrapnel with a Well of Radiance, debuff, and explode the boss. This boss is super simple. As long as you've got rockets, Gjallarhorns, and some sort of debuff, you can one-phase him extremely easy like you can see on the screen right here. This is very, very easy. Just rinse and repeat this until you have all of your red borders. But anyway, Guardians, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to drop a like, subscribe, comment down below. But again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.